Okay, so I wanted to show you the parents. This is a Frisco's Coast. This is a really old one though, so I know they've changed the styles. But if you see here, the arm swings open, and these are super handy to be able to cut the paper in the correct sizes for the kids. It has your inches here. It's all marked off in here too. So this is, you're gonna do a lot of art stuff with the kids. This is super, super handy to have. So I wanted to show you a Frisco's cutter. Very handy to have. Hello there. So what I wanted to go over here is paper. Now, with construction paper is really, I would recommend the big 12 by 18, okay? Because that way you can cut it in half for the 9 by 12, and then you can cut a 9 by 12 in half again to get the 6 by 9, cut the 6 by 9 in half again, and get the 4.5 by 6, which I will use a lot in my projects. Now, see these cool little crates, Walmart? I recommend cutting a bunch of different colors and putting them in here, because I will tell you, this is what kids will do. They will take a paper, no matter how big or small it is, they will draw their thing in this very center, and then they'll snip, 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 snip to that little tiny thing in the middle, and then cut it out. Okay, so I'm telling you, paper will get wasted before your eyes. So this is a great way to contain paper waste, all right? And it makes it really easy for the kids to grab a color when they need it. I also cut that in half again one more time to a 3 by 4.5, and I keep them in one of those little shoebox thingies. But you could get one of those like little baskets or something, because I teach a lot of kids. So anyways, these are great, especially for when they don't need very much. And the other thing I do, I will keep a bin for scraps. So I always have the kids, when they're cutting stuff, to always put all the scraps in one bin. And I usually get the ones similar to this, but they're bigger. They're like not that big. They have lids, and I have them put their scraps in there, except for like little tiny things. I'm like, when you got little ones, you can throw those away. As the scraps that you think you could use again. And then that way, when they're making stuff, they can always pull from the scraps. Now, I'll have two different bins. One for construction paper scraps, and I don't have the kids ever put like, thin copy paper scraps in there, because they're just not conducive for creating most things. But I have another bin that when we make painted papers, and we paint paper and we'll use them for collage, like something like this, like Eric Carl did. I will have them put these in a different scrap bin, and then this way they're separated, but they'll have these painted papers that they can go to for some fun creation. Okay, so that is a little tip on paper that I wanted to share with you. So for those little 3 by 4.5 inch papers, these little baskets will work great for just at home. They won't fit this way. They're not quite big enough, but they do fit that way. I got these at Walmart. I think Target has some type that are similar to these as well. So, yeah, these are really handy to have. Okay, I just wanted to mention the type of construction paper I use, and that is True Ray paper. And I get it at Hobby, or you can get it at Hobby Lobby. They do have paper there, and they have a 40% coupon on their app. So if you download their app, it's always there. So this is really good paper. It's better than the ground wood. It's stronger. and the color holds up much better. And when I refer to colors, I am going to refer to the True Ray color, which is labeled on the outside when you get a whole pack of one color. I think Hobby Lobby has like multi-packs of different colors. So that's a little bit about the paper. The other type of paper I recommend is to get 90-pound white paper. Okay, I use this all the time. Get 12 by 18, get you a pack of it, because we will use this, and it says it's drawing paper, but we use it to paint on. You don't want to use the construction paper to paint on, because we're going to use watercolors and tempers and all kinds of stuff. So get the 12 by 18 white, 90-pound. You want to make sure it's at least 90 pound, because if it's lower, it's going to be really thin, and then it's going to be really frustrating for your child when they go to try and do stuff because their paper's too thin. Okay, let's go over a messy mat. A messy mat, you can use a poster board, and I use it everywhere from gluing to painting, and this will help keep your sanity with not having as much of a mess. Now, poster boards are really big. I've cut mine down to an 18 by 24, which is a really good size for the kids to be able to handle. So that is a really good thing to have. Another thing that is great to have is a paint shirt for the kiddos. So I get this is a 2X, because they shrink, those cotton t-shirts shrink. The 2X, and it's great because it'll fit the older kids as well as the little ones, and the little ones will giggle because it's like a dress on them, but they're the ones that need covered the most. So that is great to have. Now, for the older kids, aprons are nice. So let's talk about aprons. An apron that does not have any adjustable strap is going to be a problem for the kids because it won't fit them correctly. Now, you can get adult aprons for 9, 10, 11-year-olds. They prefer to have an art apron. Get one that has the little adjustable thing for the neck, and then you're good to go. Okay, then they can adjust. As you can see, this one's been adjusted quite short, so that way it fits them a lot better. So that's the best way to go. They prefer this versus a t-shirt when you get into the older ages. Something that's nice to have handy is to save a little basket that has different size lids and caps. They're great for the kids for drawing circles. I use these a lot, and if you have any old deck of playing cards, save 1 or 2 of them, because there is a project I do with the older kids that I will use that with. Okay, so I just wanted to go over circle templates. So I'm going to have a circle template for the lessons, and it's all marked by inches. And besides this, you can also have, these are handy to have, okay? These are really handy because it's easier for kids, to grab a hold of, especially little ones, to use these for circles. But I do these because of, that fits that one. That one will fit that one, that kind of thing. But I use these so that way certain lessons we will have certain size circles. Some lessons I'll just say grab a different size, whichever, grab a big one, grab a little one, whatever, on caps. But these are nice to have. So print it out on a cardstock and then cut them out. So your kids have the circles, and just put them in an envelope. And write circles on it, and then that way they'll always have those for all the lessons. and they don't have to worry about trying to find circles because they'll have them all together, okay? So I recommend doing this with those. Other times they can use lids because these are easier for little hands to manipulate. And I'll just say, you know, grab a big circle or a little circle, either a milk cap or a pop cap or something like that. So it's good to have both of these types of circle things available for your kiddos to use. So scissors, I recommend Frisker. They're just better scissors. They'll last a lot longer. And it's nice if they have the pointed tip, and even their pointed tip isn't really sharp. It still has safety, and it's for 4 and up. So this is great. Now, when you start getting into 9 and up, these tend to be too small for their hands. So it's nice to get a little bit bigger pair of scissors. You know, you don't have to get the really big ones, but I would get a pair that fit their hands so that they can at least get 2 fingers in the bottom and their thumb in the top. Okay, because these tend to be really small and hard for the older kids to use. So that really helps them out a lot. Okay, let's talk glue. I get these extra small, they're 4-ounce Ziploc containers. I put about a 1/4 inch to 5/8 inch of 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, somewhere around there. I don't know, not very much. As you can see, there's not very much glue in there, so it's not going to get spilt. And then I get one of those really cheesy brushes that some of those cheap paint kits, they think you can paint with these things. They're terrible. Anyways, but I use these as a glue brush, and these are fabulous. And then I use the Elmer's Glue All in these, so it's stronger because we use heavier paper. Construction paper is going to be heavier, and this is the best way to go. Once in a blue moon, we will use it in a bottle, but not very often, okay? Now I'll tell you the difference between these two, so you know. Okay, this is watered down more. It won't clog as easily. This one's a little bit thicker, but it's stronger as far as holding things down. And it's nice for when we are drawing with glue and we need to make like a glue bridge with it. It is nice to have. If you only have that, that's fine, but just telling you this is the best holding glue. And it's nice because you can just put it in here, because these do tend to get clogged up. Once in a while we may use a glue stick. If you do, I would get the purple one. That way, you know, they can see where they've glued, because we glue around the edges. I know a lot of the cheaper glue sticks do not stay very well. This is why I prefer to stick with this. And I teach the kids how to glue with this, and they do really well. Okay, so when your glue is not coming out, what I do is pull off the orange part of the top. You see all this? I unbend a jumbo paper clip, a big one, and I use that kind of get out all that gloppy stuff out of there. Stick it down in there, make sure. Okay, let's see if that's gonna come up. Yep, it's coming up. So we should be good to go. And then I always make sure to stick it in that hole and kind of dig out anything that might be dried up on the inside, okay? Then I can really push that back down on there. And there we go. All right, so I want to mention glue dots, because glue dots are great for when we add like googly eyes and things like that that glue just is not going to work well because it'll just pop right back off. So there's two kinds. When we do really tiny things, I'll use the 3/16 inch ones. And then for the bigger googly eyes, I'll use the 1/2 inch ones. And they just come on a roll like this, and then you just stick the eyeball on there and just peel it off. And it's like sometimes I'll do I do these little reindeer with the kindergartners, and I'll stick like buttons and pom-poms and things like that on here, and I pre-stick them on, so all they got to do is peel it off and they're all ready to go. So that will hold those types of things that will come off with glue. All right, so let's, these are 3DOs. What they are, they're these little, the kids call them marshmallows, so they're like these little pop-up things. And you could probably get other off-brands at the craft store or whatever, but you want the thicker ones, because when we do pop-ups for art, we really want it to stand up, as you can kind of see. I don't know, I don't know if you can see this, but you see how it kind of pops up right here. We use the little marshmallow, little marshmallows. And I always tell the kids to get them open, to peel this off, so they're not peeling off the stickiest, to squeeze them. Squeeze that marshmallow, and then they can peel it off really easy. And then squeeze the marshmallow and it peels off. So that is for pop-up, when we do pop-up art. Okay, so parents, if you would like to seal your child's artwork, especially when we do the tissue, this is nice. I use the Mod Podge. You can get gloss, matte, sparkly, you name it. I like the matte. And of course this should have been done before the little 3DO thingy was on there, the 3D thing, but I just wanted to demonstrate. It's clear. And I'm just gonna brush this on, and this looks like it's kind of old. It may be a little thick. I'm gonna put some in a, oh, I got paint in that dish. Well, that's okay. All right. I'm actually just gonna pour a little bit of water in there because it's kind of old and thick. Just kind of stir that around a little bit. All right, that's going on much better. So this will just protect it and kind of seal stuff down better, because I will have the kids use starch, which is for clothing, and it sticks the tissue down and it's fine. But if you really want this to last a while, I know I would always save. I still have artwork my daughter did, and she's gonna be 27. So yeah, there we go. So then just let it dry now. See some of that brown bled? So what I'm gonna do is just rinse the brush off and pull some of that back down a little bit. So you might want to be careful when you go to do like on different colors, especially on the tissue, because that kind of stuff can happen. So anyways, there you go. And that will seal it nice. So the little tissues and things won't lift off. And there you go. So that's a little tip. And you can do that with other artwork as well, but I particularly like to do it on things that we use the tissue with. For paper mache, you'll need some art paste or paper mache paste. It doesn't matter what name is on it, they're both the same. So as you can see here, there's different boxes, but it's all the same stuff. Okay, so we're gonna mix up some paste, and Ross makes it, Elmer's makes it, and comes in a little box like this. You can also use, look up a recipe for paper mache paste, you know, with flour and whatnot. So I use this because it doesn't mold and whatnot. And I use a quarter of a bag, so I divide it in 4 and use 16 ounces of water. I have 16 ounces here in this paint container. An old blender. My old blender actually broke, so I had to get a new blender. But this will be deemed just for art stuff. So I'm going to first pour the water in, then pour the paste in. Let that spin. And just pour that into a container, and then we are ready to go. What's nice about this, it will last for days. You need to make things over and over without it going bad and smelling rotten like flour does. Okay, so it's time for the G word. The G word, the bad G word. Glitter, yes. Kids love it, parents hate it, but it's part of art. Now, I don't use very much of it. I will just tell you that right now. So you can take a deep breath, and I'm going to show you a trick of how to keep it under control. All right, so when I have a child prepare for glittering an area, they will take their glue and draw their area that they want glittered. Now, if they go like this and go crazy, I tell them I won't glitter. I'm sorry, you didn't follow directions. You don't get glitter. So they have to be very deliberate to get their glitter. Now, then what I'll do, I take the glitter, sprinkle it on their paper, tap it on the tray. Make sure you have a nice big tray. And I deem this just for art stuff and glitter and whatnot. So tap it on the tray, and then I give it a couple of flicks with my finger just to get any extra stragglers off of there, and then set it aside to dry. This, then I will take a piece of scrap paper or index card or something, scoop it up, put it back into the container, and get as much of it as I can. And then I will take this outside and bang the back of it several times out in the yard and get that extra off. It's a lot easier to clean up glitter when it's dry than wet.